Hello everyone, this is Patty Roos here again, your student leader. I just wanted to touch base with you guys really quickly about the peer review process, as you guys are probably nearing the completion of your paper, getting ready to submit it, or hopefully you've already done so. Keep in mind that the peer review is due on March 20th, and you will be reviewing 2 papers. And I would probably recommend leaving about an hour and a half per paper in order to do a good peer review. You're going to be reading the research papers that are created by the 2 students next to you alphabetically in the student roster for the class. So just look that up, see who's in front of you and behind you alphabetically. After you read these papers, you want to make sure to familiarize yourself with both the papers and any of the literature. You have to become an expert so that you can provide good feedback to the person. The peer review questions. So you guys are provided with a list of, I think there's over 20 questions. You do not need to answer all of these questions, but I would recommend reading through them before you read the papers, because that might spark your interest. The answers to some of the questions are going to be more relevant and more pertinent to, one person than another. It depends where their paper is either strong or weak. So kind of go for a theme. What you think would be most helpful to you would probably be most helpful to the other person. Also, you may find it helpful to add comments using the Microsoft comment function in Microsoft Word. I will show you guys how to do that at the end of this if you have not done it already. It's a great little feature. Okay, these are the questions, and you guys have already been provided these, so I'm not going to just sit here and read them to you, but I would like to touch upon a few that I've kind of highlighted here in red, as I think that they're beneficial to many papers. Simply, did the introduction, looking at number 3 here, set the tone of the paper? Did it provide you the background information required to ensure that you would understand the rest of the paper, the main topic of the paper? Because sometimes the person writing this understands a more in-depth of this topic, and they kind of overlook some of the basics. So that's a really important one to touch upon there. Did the last paragraph of the introduction, did it state the goals of the paper? Did you know what you were going to be reading about throughout, clearly? Number 6, did the research paper connect the technology with the conservation issue in a meaningful way? Did it really help out the issue is what you're going to be looking for there. 7, 8, 9 obviously are very helpful as well. Were they narrow enough? What could you do if they didn't narrow their topic down enough? If you look at number 10, did the author use enough references for their current scientific knowledge? And did they, cite that in text and so on? Was it organized, clear, and logical that you could easily understand it? If it wasn't, point that out to them. What you see, they may not see. Number 11, this is an important one. Did the author compare, contrast, and synthesize knowledge from multiple sources? You don't just want to see the author of the paper just kind of give only their viewpoints. You want to see them use that research to point out different ideas, things that conflicted, and so on, so that there's a greater understanding of the topic. A little bit further down, this is an important one some people overlook. Did the conclusion section, did it highlight significant findings in the paper? We shouldn't be introducing new things in the conclusion section. However, it should kind of pose new questions of where you think you might go with further research in the future. Number 13 is all about the peer references. Were they peer-reviewed sources? Were they in proper APA citation format? Some people are stronger at this than others. Number 14, did the message reach you? Did you want to jump out of your seat and go make a difference? Or is the person kind of weak in that area? Number 15 is a connection between the audience and the conservation issue. Did you feel that research paper focused on reaching that target audience or community that person chose to reach out to? And then there's a few more here. What would you like to see more of? What would you recommend to improve or do differently? Try to stay away from, this is good, that was great. If they're really strong in an area, yes, point that out. but make sure that you are giving good feedback if they can make important changes that are going to improve their paper, because that's what this peer review process is all about. It should be written as a post 3 to 5 paragraphs long. You can also do the track changes that I'm about to show you, but you'll want to make sure that it should be in the range of 3 to 5 paragraphs so that you're giving good feedback. You're also welcome to provide any additional relevant information that maybe not was covered in the questions that you were provided. And if you do decide to make comments using Microsoft Word, make sure that you attach the document with your comments to the post, but make sure you put your actual comments as a post in the to-do as well. And lastly, just a little kind of comic here, get through all this and your paper will be accepted, and it should be quite an improvement. All right, I will show you guys now how to do the peer review, if I can find it here. I'm on a friend's computer, so I will just pull up a Word document, and it kind of changed the formatting and stuff a little bit from how this paper really was for me. This is something I did for my evolution course. I did the evolution of dogs. Anyways, to the point, in order to do track changes, and it depends what version of Word that you have. I think this is the older version. If you go to Tools and go to Track Changes and Highlight Changes, and you can kind of just click OK there, it should pull up some information that should allow you to do this. It should, at least. Highlight changes. That way, track changes while editing, and click OK. That way, if I, remove words and hit enter, it should tell me that I just deleted the word domesticated. And it would say my name if this was my computer. So that's also very helpful to the person as well. So you can kind of just go through, and you can even add separate little comments, but anything you do, it will track the change for the person. So it's very, very beneficial. And that's about it. Good luck with everything else that you guys have left to do.